Benny Johnson's one of the rising sharts uh, of the right wing, the intellectual dork web, or the pseudosexual dark web, depending on how you. Yeah, that was fucking painful. Ugh, God, it was dull. But we made it through a chunk of it. Shit. But Benny, if you want to see what class is, he actually opens with a shot of that's a plane about to hit the towers in 9/11. Yeah, that's the kind of class you can expect over at Turning Points USA.
The war on terror began 22 years ago. What exactly has America achieved?
Well, gee, let's see. Well, we're out of Afghanistan now. Thanks, Joe Biden. And also, Iraq is not run by a horrible human being anymore. I mean, it's pretty, as functioning countries go, it's been pretty quiet actually the last 8 decades or so, or 8 decades, 8 years or so. The better part of a decade. What else? What else have we accomplished? Well, according to Donald Trump, he defeated ISIS all by himself. Except of course, ISIS-K, which is the group that blew up the bomb when we were getting out of Afghanistan that killed our soldiers and a lot of innocent civilians. Hold on. We have, if I may, where is he? Ladies and gentlemen, if you look right there, if you look right where this toe is, right here, you might see at the corner of the door a little paw is coming through. You see this little paw coming through here? What is this? What is this little? What's this? What is happening? What are you doing? Hi. You gonna come in? Come here. Come here. Come here. Come here. He's like, show's over, asshole. Come on. What are you doing, buddy? Come here. You can't come in. What are you coming back in like that? I'm not gonna do a snack. Come here. You young man. You. I'm doing a show. Walk in here like this. You crazy boy. What are you doing? He's like, nothing. I wasn't doing anything. What are you doing? Cat Cam. It's a cat cam. He's just cat cam. What's up? Chipper, what are you doing? What's going on, buddy? He fidgets under the door. He's like, you're and by the way, he's on a 5 o'clock cycle because I have a general rule that 5 a.m. I'm not getting up before 5 a.m. I stay up at night watching a lot of news and trying to catch up on shit. I don't want to have to get up before 5 o'clock. I'm okay with 5, but not before. And sometimes he'll just decide at 4:32 a.m. that he's that fucking hungry. And he'll come up and I'll go, oh, it's fucking 5 already. I just wake up and it's okay, it's 5, fucking 5. And he's just waiting so patiently. The Trump Tucker interview starts at the exact same time as the debate. So we're going to do the debate tomorrow, and then I'm going to jump off in a couple of minutes and come back on for that. Is that okay with you guys? And we'll just do it live because I think it's at 6 o'clock my time. It's in another hour. And I just need a break to feed this little guy or he's going to kill everybody. Don't attack them. Don't do it, Chip. Don't do it. Don't attack and kill them. What have they done? You're like the cat version of the Wuhan lab bat. Thanks for liking the stream. Right on Chip's butt. There you go. There's a zombie running into Chip's butt right now. That's ridiculous. Okay. Good boy. Yeah, thanks. Just show him your butt. There you go. It's good stuff. All right. I think I said it. There you go. Cat butt. You're welcome. Congratulations. He's the Wuhan cat. Absolutely. All right. Can I finish up part of this video? Because I know I'm going to give up on it too because it's a waste of fucking time. This is what... Oh, that's great. Now I've got a new t-shirt style, which is a big fur patch on the... Yeah. This is America's funding a war of terror in Ukraine. A war of terror. What? What is it? Oh no! Is somebody hungry? What's the matter? Chipples? Oh no! Listen to him. What is it? What's a buddy to do? What is a buddy to do? Oh no! It's like, enough with the fucking show stuff. All right, everybody, go take a pee break. All right, Chip, let's do this. Come on, man. Come on, you little rat. Let's go. Thanks, Roy, by the way. Come on. Come on, Chip. Okay, I'm back. I'm coming back. Why did the chat not roll on that? That's weird. Normally the chat shows. I don't understand why he stopped. All my little things stopped working. Okay, so Chip got a snack. He's okay. Let's see. Kill the cat cam for now. Oh man. Okay. Everybody, you cleared everything out? Okay. I'm gonna do a little bit of this, but I honest to God, don't know how much of this shit I can stand because it's just boring. He's such a. I mean, I guess there's a difference between boring and being a fucking bore, right? So let's go with it. This is Benny Johnson. America's funding a war of terror in Ukraine. This sounds like a full-throated defense of Vladimir Putin.
Let's check the record.
Yeah, let's check the record. George Bush, right?
Class lied to the
Yes, you're the Republicans and everybody supported him. I understand. I marched against the Iraq War.
world, invaded sovereign nations.
I take the fact that he develops weapons of mass destruction very seriously.
Yes, I know, a Republican president. I argue, and I still say to this day, that had Al Gore been the president, our reaction to 9/11, if it had happened at all, because I think he would have read his presidential daily briefs, would have been very different, and it certainly wouldn't have involved invading two fucking countries.
Killed hundreds of thousands of civilians.
Okay, first of all, Saddam Hussein killed hundreds of thousands of his own civilians all the time anyways. But when you're going to say that, don't show his face first, like he was one of the civilians.
And displaced millions more while spending trillions of dollars and thousands of American lives. With the surrender of Afghanistan back to the Taliban,
was negotiated by Donald Trump with the Taliban.
The war on terror's total failure was complete.
Like, why? First of all, that was using the fucking Ducey. Where are you? In some sort of weird American disco? Honest to God, what the fuck is this? How are these videos made? And is this a TikToking of America? It's just sad.
The last flag-draped coffins rolled off the plane. America's establishment warmongering class looked at their watches. No time to mourn. They were anxious for the next act to begin. See,
This is you can't. You got to give them this. If you can't actually go on the genuine details, a lot of effects. This is InfoWars shit. This is the same thing this is how Alex Jones made his bones. They would make videos like this, and and videos like Zeitgeist and shit like that. It's like it guarantees you a certain amount of views. However, this has been up for 2 weeks and it's got 9,000 views. And this is Turning Points USA. They have 1 million subscribers, 980,000 subscribers. Now, a good portion of my long form live streams have numbers like that. I think the last one, was it either Tuesday or Monday night or whatever, got 10K in general. And these are long form 2-hour things. This is a 9-minute video. It shouldn't be that hard to get through, especially if you're a Turning Points USA fan. And yet, it's apparently people are taking a pass on it. It's got 1,001 likes. The dislikes are hidden, as you might expect. But
fighting a war on terror is hard. Funding a war of terror, there's something new. And
what, we're terrorizing Russians? Is that what we're doing?
That's what America's doing right now in Ukraine.
I see. We are paying for terrorism against poor little Russia.
Terrorism defined is the unlawful use of violence and intimidation, especially against civilians in the pursuit of a political aim. We can prove that Ukraine, with America's help, has become a terror state.
Uh-huh. Go for it. Wow.
Not just for the nations they're at war with, but for their own people. Ukraine is precisely the kind of country that we swore to fight against during the global war on terror.
No. Not at fucking all. First of all, let's just be abundantly clear. On his side of the aisle, the only countries, and this is under Trump, who Benny Johnson is a huge fan of, and most of the far-right Republicans out there, that they don't give a fuck about a country. I mean, you could say this about Chechnya. Like, if Benny Johnson had a third of a brain and was around at that time, this motherfucker would be going on and on about how, fuck Chechnya, who gives a shit? Let the Russians kill everybody.
A lawless dictatorship with lethal capacity to commit acts of terror across borders.
Across borders. Okay, first of all, you do realize they were actually invaded across their border. And that continued even after 2014. Maybe not. This is fucking weird.
Nobody wants to say it. We have gone from fighting a war on terror to funding a war of terror.
Okay, now I'm starting to understand why this video has so few views. Because even Turning Points USA viewers are like, what the fuck?
On September 26, 2022, a deep-sea explosion ripped through the underwater pipelines supplying natural gas.
All right, that's basically 9/11. You know, somebody blew up the Nord Stream 2, and it's basically the same. You know?
From Russia to customers in Western Europe.
Customers. I see. No, actually. That pipeline had ceased to be functional. The Germans were no longer customers and never intended to be again. This was after the fucking invasion. You're just going to jump right past the part where they invade? Of course you are.
This is the largest act of ecologic, environmental, and economic terrorism in Europe since the start of World War II. We now know Ukraine blew up the Nord Stream.
No, we don't. Suggests. I think pro-Ukrainian group sabotaged the US pipeline. There's also been a lot of crosstalk about this in general. U.S. officials say. I noticed there's not an asterisk or a cite on that. You just wrote that up, did you? You just threw that in there? All right.
Pipelines, with America's direct knowledge and perhaps assistance.
Perhaps. Ooh, look out.
Leaked intelligence documents reveal that the U.S. was informed of Ukraine's planned act of terrorism, and we did nothing about it.
What were we supposed to do? What were we supposed to do? Blow their boats out of the water?
Worse, after the terror attack, our warmongering establishment class
are warmongering establishment class. Yes, you know these two guys who made Russia attack Ukraine and send rape squads to Bucha and rig kitchen drawers with grenades when they retreated.
Celebrated. For the celebration, they sent more money to Ukraine. They rewarded them. This is a common trend.
No, it's an ongoing war. This is not. This isn't directly related to any particular act. This is a. You could argue that you might be able to track the addition of money to the escalation by Russia on one side to help them. Yeah.
Senator Cruz, like you, I am, and I think the administration is very gratified to know that Nord Stream 2 is now, as you like to say, a hunk of metal at the bottom of the sea.
In the last few weeks, suicide drones launched by Ukraine began raining down on residential neighborhoods in Moscow.
Suicide drones. First of all, you can't have a suicide drone. I mean, it's a cute name, but they're never alive, so they don't die. They're not kamikaze pilots. Secondarily, they're raining down on residential neighborhoods, but only manage somehow to hit the military installations in those areas.
These are not military targets.
That's not. No one lives in the Kremlin. That's the Kremlin. That's the Kremlin. That's a military target. Yes, your capital would be a. You know who might think that qualifies as a military target? The Jan Sixers, you dumb fuck.
This is terrorism on civilian targets.
No, civilians are not allowed in that building. They aren't. That's what the wall is for, stupid. This is just, all right, this is good stuff.
The head of Ukraine's military intelligence service bragged in a recent interview that Kyiv had assassinated citizens and journalists inside of Russia. Major General Krylo
because of the bomb that went off in that one place, the mill block.
Bundanov crowed that Ukraine had successfully targeted Russian civilians.
Yeah, just for being civilians, though. This is the same argument you hear that the FBI went after people at like school board meetings just because they're parents.
The Ukrainian general then gave a dark threat. Outright scum will be eventually punished in any country in the world. Only elimination can be a well-deserved punishment.
Well, you can see why Benny is upset by that statement, because as outright scum, he feels personally attacked. I think most of us feel okay that when someone says outright scum, they aren't talking about us. If you get offended when someone's like, yeah, outright scum have to go, maybe you have a problem.
Bundanov said, per the Kiev Post.
Which is, of course, a Ukrainian newspaper, and you can't trust them, I suppose.
These are the words of an ISIS tribal leader, not an American ally, getting...
Again, if an ISIS tribal leader calls you outright scum, it's from a different perspective, because they don't actually believe in democracy. They don't want you to. They're pro-autocracy, I would argue.
Billions in aid. One of the civilian targets was Russian war correspondent
He's a war correspondent.
Tatarsky. Tatarsky died in an explosion at a St. Petersburg cafe when he was handed a bomb in broad daylight. 24 others were taken to the hospital, 6 in critical condition. 29-year-old...
Wait, and they only killed him? So the bomb only killed him and just injured other people? Who were there, by the way, to hear him speak? Also,
daughter of Russian political commentator Alexander Dugin was killed in August the 20th when a bomb placed in her father's car exploded as she drove through Moscow. Earlier this month, Russian writer Zakhar Preplin was injured.
Wait a minute. She was fucking blown up inside Russia. Ukrainians didn't do that. They were trying to kill... People were trying to kill Dugin.
A similar car bomb attack.
Yes, I suppose the Ukrainians are to blame for Prigozhin's plane falling out of the fucking sky?
The Ukrainian terror is not limited to outside of Ukraine's borders.
Of course.
Plenty happens inside of Ukraine's borders.
Yeah, especially the Russian invasion. You can imagine how the Ukrainians feel about what Russia's doing inside.
In 2022, the New York Times reported that Ukraine intentionally flooded one of its villages when troops opened a nearby dam. This was not an outlier, according to the Times. Ukraine has been swift and effective in wreaking havoc on its own territory, often by destroying infrastructure.
Yeah, they blow up bridges so Russians can't cross it. It's a fucking war.
The Washington Post ominously wrote in December that Ukraine conducted a test strike on the massive Nova Dam in preparation for the spring offensive. The dam was blown up this month, causing catastrophic
is the Russians blowing this up and then they blame it on Ukraine,
flooding,
right?
destruction of an entire region, and a potential nuclear disaster by cutting off cooling to a nuclear plant.
Right, which would only damage Ukraine. It's not like it stops energy going to Russia, for example.
The dam had been under Russian control since February.
Huh. When it blew up? Weird. And they were getting their ass kicked, and they didn't have the men to cover an entire chunk of the territory, so flooding that seems to be a strategy that's used in this part of the world, and they decided to use it.
So why would Russia blow up such a strategic asset?
To flood the area, like you said before, to keep people from crossing it, and they give even less of a fuck about the Ukrainians in the area?
Much like Ukraine blaming Russia for blowing up the Nord Stream, it makes no sense.
No, it makes some sense. I mean, you can argue both sides strategically. That's why Russia does it that way.
But to an American, nothing happening inside of Ukraine would make any sense to you.
Doesn't? Why am I confused? I'm confused why I should be confused.
Life under the rule of Zelensky is entirely antithetical to the values you assume America fights for.
Because he was on a comedy series?
The Zelensky regime
You're fucking kidding me, right? Your favorite president was a game show host.
has criminalized free speech. They've shut
No. Propaganda.
media outlets. They've exerted
Just media outlets. Guys, they're just media outlets. That's all there is. It's okay. I mean, if the Germans were peppering an area of the country with leaflets or something saying surrender, that would and you set fire to them, that's a violation of free speech.
full totalitarian state control over private business, banks, and property. The Zelensky regime openly persecutes Christians.
No. Now, it's more than just Christians. It's not enough to just be a Christian. You actually have to be a specific group of Christians working under the guise of being Christian and using your church as a military base for the Russians.
And Christian priests.
Yeah, just generic. So all the Christian priests have been rounded up? There was no specific, there wasn't Christian priest and, because like in the United States, I'll give you an example. I'll give you an example. In the United States, we lock up a lot of religious figures. Let's see. Let's see. Oh shit! Hold on, let me get this. Oh, they will bring this down. Yeah, let's just grab the top one. That's the easiest one. Open up on here. Yeah. So, like in the United States, I don't know if you know this, but we jail pastors. We just throw Christian pastors in jail. We do it, especially youth pastors all the fucking time. The U.S. government, both federally and locally, throws a lot of these youth pastors in jail. It's terrible. It's like there's a war on Christianity that now granted, they're not being thrown in jail because they're Christians. They're being thrown in jail for molesting children, for example. But they're also Christians. And it is materially true if you omit certain facts that we are throwing them in jail while they, how shall I put it, identify as Christian pastors, right? Yeah, we need to round them up until we can figure out what's going on. Oh, thanks so much, Jackie. Yeah, there's a bunch. We do it all the time. Gary Buckaloo surrenders after child sex. All right. There you go. Nipomo youth pastor. I don't even know if this is in the United States, is it? Yeah, there we go. Yep. Like this guy. The American government in Portland. Oh, it's sad. He's from Portland, Oregon. Rip Portland, you know. This is Joe Biden's America. Okay? In Joe Biden's America, a youth pastor is being thrown in fucking jail for being Christian and what was the other detail? He was a Christian pastor and a suspect in an ongoing child molestation that occurred in Nipomo between 2005 and 2008. So 3 years of child molestation. Over the course of several months, they completed an investigation. The process of York was arrested and booked into county jail on 2 counts of oral copulation by duress, 2 counts of lewd acts with a child under 14 with force, and other various charges. His bail was set at $400,000 just because he was a Christian. It's terrible. That's a terrible, terrible thing. So, anyway, anyways, just Christians. They're just Christians.
They've trampled civil liberties of their citizens and outlawed rival political parties while arresting their political opponents.
Well, no, you can have rival political parties as long as they are Ukrainian political parties as opposed to Russian sock puppets.
Sound familiar? Hey, that's
No.
why Joe Biden is so keen to fund this regime. I want to.
Why are you whispering when they're going to put giant sound effects over this to try and desperately to make it interesting?
Take a second and make something very clear. We're not on the side of Russia.
Yeah, you are. How are you not? I'm dead serious.
That's for damn sure.
That's for damn sure. So don't even ask.
Russia's preemptive attack against Ukraine is evil. It's destroyed the lives of millions of people, and Ukraine should
Destroy the lives of millions of people.
defend itself from invasion, as should all sovereign nations.
As should all sovereign nations. Try to do that.
But anybody who tells you that they're on the side of the angels in a war is lying to.
Also, who has fucking said that? And secondly, just saying that like little caveat, we're not on the side of Russia. Of course not, or whatever. Because no Russian stooge would ever fucking say that.
I'm not
Don't you kind of have to say that so that you can sell the propaganda on the other stuff?
Ukrainian, and I'm not Russian. I'm an American. We should be able to look at this conflict neutrally.
No, I'm not going to be neutral when one country is sending rape squads into another country in Europe that is bordering other NATO countries specifically based on that idea. Because this isn't about a civil war in a couple of countries that don't have a play in the United States. We are part of NATO, and they are using this as the pretext to attack another country. They started this saying it's our fault. We are involved.
We are responsible for our government's action.
Right. And that's why I voted for Joe Biden, and that's why I'm glad he's doing what he's doing.
And my government is clearly funding what has become an unstable and dangerous regime, antithetical to American values in a conflict
Antithetical? Wait a minute. You think we're funding Russia?
that has the potential to escalate into a third world war as the sides become increasingly desperate. This leads to
As the sides become increasingly desperate. The sides. Oh, there's the sides on it. The sides. There's sides. Hold on one second. If I may, like baseball. Let's see. I'll take this, and yeah, okay. We'll go to studio mode. Pop over here. We'll add a little thing. Go to the thing. Pick an image. We'll go to this existing. We'll take this. We'll do this guy. We'll click OK. We'll stretch this out. And then we'll put this in here, and then we'll take it and we'll go here. Just do a little bit of work. 1 second. There we go. And then let's see. We take this guy, and how do we do this? It's gonna be very weird, but I'm gonna try it anyways. Fuck it. Color key, and we're gonna choose the key color, select the color, and then we'll try a gray, something like that. So you gotta go to white down here. Try this gray, That should do something like, okay, there we go. Yeah, that works. It's not the greatest, but it'll do. Bring it down. Yeah, that's kind of perfect, actually. Close, there we go. And anyways, try to do this guy, move this around. Sorry, so anyways, you were saying something about being on the side of the angels. Go ahead. Anyways, you were saying, Benny?
The final question: what happened to the anti-war left?
Yeah, what happened to the anti-war left? Well, self-defense and violence aren't the same thing.
Think that there'd be a group of people that would stand up and march in the streets against America's warmongering class? It would be liberals.
Yeah, but there is no warmongering class in this particular instance. And this is, again, this is from a guy who thinks we shouldn't have intervened specifically in Rwanda, because fuck them.
But all of a sudden, well, we're kind of alone out here. The
Oh, boo-hoo. You're not alone. You've got friends all over the place, Benny.
left loves
You're surrounded by friends. Oh, and by the way, I got to do this in my little thing too. So, boink. There we go. And then we'll move this up here. Nope. Always have to move this shit around. It's fun. There we go. Excellent. Okay. Now, you were saying.
war. They love global terrorism.
We do? We do. I didn't realize that. I always appreciate when these dipshits tell us how we all feel. I didn't realize that we love big corporations and we love global. What do we love? We love terrorism. All of a sudden, well, the left loves war. They love global terrorism, and we love the big companies that do it. That's
Well, we're kind of alone out here.
Dude.
The left loves war. They love global terrorism.
Well, then why aren't we just declaring war on China to start with? Why wait for them to attack Taiwan at all? Fuck it.
They love big corporations who are profiting from all of it. Put a Ukrainian flag in your bio and beg for BlackRock to send more ammo. This warmongering left.
BlackRock? BlackRock doesn't send. BlackRock's a largely real estate and an investment company. Does this is he confusing Raytheon with BlackRock? Is this just lazy bullshit in that regard?
Left is totally foreign to somebody who's my age.
40 going on 21 Jump Street?
When I was growing up, the left looked like this.
Right, because the war was different. We don't just blindly support anything, and we don't blindly go against them. We can actually think about stuff. And maybe this is the confusion. This does point to a problem that the right has right now. I really do think so. Because apparently he doesn't understand why you don't just, like, portray a trait and just act it out in any situation that looks vaguely like it. Like he does, for example, with Christianity. Like I would argue that Benny Johnson says that it is enough that someone simply say they are Christian to be a Christian. They don't actually have to make decisions in their life based on it.
And when my parents were growing up, the left looked like this.
Right, because that was the Vietnam War. What did the left look like during World War II?
Small arenas, leftist anti-war activists still call out their own. Here's how AOC was greeted in her own district recently after voting to fund the forever war in Ukraine.
The forever war in Ukraine.
Congresswoman, none of this matters unless there's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine.
Here's the...
Hold on, stupid. Say that again. None of this matters unless there's a nuclear war? Okay, for the record, I think this well-meaning dipshit who's yelling at her for random fuck means none of this matters if there's a nuclear war. Because I don't think anybody predicates their economic policy on all we need to make Medicare for all work is a nuclear war to wipe out enough of the population where basically we could just I guess we only have to treat people for radiation sickness or zombification.
There's a nuclear war, which you voted to send arms and weapons to Ukraine.
Yeah, again, sending defensive weapons to a country that's protecting itself and trying to maintain its borders and the like is very different from just invading Iraq or even fucking Vietnam. And if you can't tell the difference, it's because you don't want to.
Here's the simple truth.
Okay, in deference to his audience.
Lost on these activists, unfortunately.
Oh, it's unfortunate. It's very unfortunate.
Leftists are the establishment now.
Ah, that's it. We run everything. We're in charge of everything. And so now we're trying to keep the status quo. And if there's not a war going on, we don't know what to do because all of our fucking... we want... why do we want the war again? Why do we want war all the time if we're the establishment? I don't know about you, but I have like concerts I want to go to and shit.
And the establishment has always been pro-war.
Well, no, it isn't. Otherwise, like I said, Bill Clinton would have gone into Rwanda without fucking batting an eye. And there are multiple areas where Jimmy Carter, for example, could have gotten us into war. Didn't.
They just think you're dumb enough to be fooled by the colorful virtue signaling.
Is that what this is? Is this video colorful virtue signaling? I mean, you actually have to have virtues for it to work. But...
Mega corporations are bankrolling off.
Mega corporations. Yes. Target. Yes. Target wants the forever war because they want to sell gym shorts to the dead.
This war, and the left cheers for them.
Which mega corporations are we talking about? I'm dead serious. I mean, I love the sound of mega corporations. It sounds really serious and bad. Oh my God, mega corporations have taken over everywhere. But what the fuck are you talking about? If you're saying Boeing and Raytheon and all that shit, the problem with saying that is that per GDP, they're dropping the fucking bucket. And the rest of us would get along just fine if we didn't have to deal with this bullshit. And Russia invaded.
They cheer when billions of dollars of weapons are sent to Ukraine.
Right, because they will be used in an honorable fight to defend people.
You know, there's no way to track any of those weapons, right?
Sure there is. You just watched some of them on video hitting what they were supposed to hit, fuckwad. Hey, you want to track some... Hold on. Do you guys want to track some videos with me? Hold on. Let's go here. Oh, thanks for becoming a member. That's awesome. Thank you. Let's see. Let's track some weapons, shall we? Let's go over to here. And let's see. Is this it? Wait 1 second. Yeah, there you go. We'll go to this. There you go. There's you go to here. There's some of the weapons. They've just struck a Russian naval vessel. Right there you go. I don't know if this is the actual strike. Nope, that's just the Russian ship teetering. There it is. Look at that. You could track some of the fucking weapons that way, I think. Yeah. I think it's a pretty good way of tracking it, don't you? Here, I'll show you another way we can track the weapons. You want to see another way we can track the weapons? Hold on. Let me go back to here. 1 second. Oh, I got to go to this 1 second. I go there, and then I'll go to a lot of it's about Prigozhin being dead these days, so they'll have to excuse me, and I would just leave this open while I look for the pages, but sometimes the video is horrible. Yeah, there you go. Here's a tracking of the things. Is this one of them? Yeah, we'll just I've got to turn off I have to turn off the filter. Oops. For that to work. Oh, never mind. I'll just screw it because it'll look cool, whatever. There we go. Maybe we'll track some weapons. Everything's gray over there right now. Just how it works. There's that's the flight. That's more of a flight tracker of Prigozhin on his way to being dead. Oh, thanks, DDD. Yeah, we have our folks going over there all the time. Let's see. Large number of infantry. That's a good idea. You know what? This will work better. I'll just do this up here. Hold on. Put this up here. Go to this, and then we go to, yeah, here you go. Now, I understand you can't track necessarily directly where they're going, but I will say they definitely left from where they were supposed to be leaving from, Benny. I would argue that we paid for some of this stuff, not all of it. Some of it's from our NATO allies and our friends and non-NATO countries and new NATO countries. Welcome. And those missiles and those armaments and that gas and that and the support troops around them that are necessary to keep these things from being blown up before they get to the position where they can fire in the first place, got to where they were going and have started doing their job. So that would be, I think, one of the areas, right, where, right, when you say so, Benny, I think that's a decent argument you could make, right? That we know exactly where that shit went. Let's see, where some of these, let's go see where some of these, we're paying for some of these bullets, right? Yeah. There's a wounded soldier with a bullet in his arm. This is a Ukrainian. Oh, it's a she. It's a she. She's got a wound in her arm. And a firefight. There you go. This is the top of the firefight. It's where they're firing, and they got return fire on. She ended up getting shot. So that's and you know, I guess in many ways, and she's all right. Made it. That's cool. I think we could find out where some of the Russian weapons that Benny likes, got where they were going too.
We have no idea where they're going.
Oh yeah, you got no idea where they're going. Well, you're not supposed to, you know. It is a war, because if you know, at Talking Points USA, I'm guessing, I guarantee people from the Kremlin have subscribed to your channel.
Or whose hands they're going to end up in.
They're going to end up in. End up in.
It's not going to be good.
It's not going to be good. It is. Well, it's not going to be good for Russians, I would say.
Yet here at home, these same leftists scream for gun control.
Yes, because we're not in a war zone. We are trying to go to the mall.
Because the violence and the mothers that we have to comfort are losing children.
Right, while they're at school and there is not a war going on. Because if there was a war, you just evacuate people from the dangerous parts, but it's supposed to be a civil society. This distinction has always fucking baffled me.
Due to the guns and the carnage and the lawlessness unleashed by those states.
It makes no sense.
Yeah, it does, if you think about it at all.
They claim to care about infrastructure.
Yeah.
And the working man. But
yeah, we don't put it in air quotes.
America is falling to pieces. Our border.
Okay, first of all, that bridge.
Infrastructure. And the working man. But domestically, America is falling.
Domestically, America is falling to pieces. This is the argument. Okay, hold on. They showed the new governor there. Let me see. I'm going to put this out of the way, and then I want to do this. Let's see. Pin bridge. Domestically, America is just falling to pieces. This is Joe Biden's America. This is Joe Biden's America, where domestically, the country, basically, the country is falling to pieces. Cruise demo and replace Penn Bridge in just 57 hours. Time lapse. There you go. This is the bridge that collapsed that he just showed. Just saying. I don't know why this video doesn't want to play on its own. I think it's just on the YouTube part of it. Let's just do this. There you go. Here you go. Domestically, America is just falling to pieces. I mean, they had a bridge collapse from a bridge that was very old that could have been replaced, I suppose, if Trump had ever passed an infrastructure bill. Shit, he said he could do it right away. First thing, it'd be the easiest thing. We have stupid people running stuff. I can get an infrastructure bill passed in 2 fucking weeks, and then 2 more weeks, and then 2 more weeks, and then 2 more weeks, and then it was never fucking fixed. And then it ultimately collapsed. And what happened? This is, ladies and gentlemen, I would like to introduce you to the power of Pete Buttigieg. Check this shit out. 57 fucking hours. Rebuilt the bridge, reconnected the road. But bam. Here's the tail end of it. They put this part back on. Look at that. Already traffic going on underneath it. That's faith. There you go. Keep at it. Finished up all the guardrails, opened up the top of it, repaved the road underneath, made it all nice and smooth. Look at that shit. Look at them fucking treating the surface of the road, laying down a fucking... it's so beautiful. I'm sorry, I got very excited. I got very infrastructure excited. Also, again, there was a lethal train crash while Trump was president, and he didn't bother to fucking go. There are still FEMA people on the ground in East Palestine.
The pieces. Our border is a crime scene.
Our border is a crime scene. Feliz viaje. Happy welcome, I guess.
Our nation is collapsing.
No, it's actually not.
When was the last time we spent $1 billion on protecting our border?
This year. And by the way, honest to God, probably the 70s, because we spend billions of dollars on our border. Okay, so border budget. It's like they don't even fucking try. Let's go to here. Yeah. This is the whitehouse.gov site. This is the actual budget that they put forward. Oh, there you go. Hi. Now following. Thanks. Enhanced border security. The budget includes nearly $25 billion for U.S. Customs and Border Protection and Immigration and Customs Enforcement, an increase of almost $800 million over the 2023 enacted level when controlling for border management amounts. That's almost $1 billion more. So I guess I suppose Benny's very happy. The budget includes funds for CBP to hire an additional 350 border agents, $535 million for border security technology between ports of and between ports of entry, $40 million to combat fentanyl trafficking and disrupt transnational criminal organizations, and funds to hire an additional 460 processing assistants at CBP and ICE. Supports a fair, orderly, humane integration system. There you go. The budget includes $865 million for United States citizenship and immigration services to process the increasing asylum caseloads, reduce the historically high immigration benefit request backlog, support the citizenship and integration grant program, and improve refugee processing, address the situation at the southern border. Given elevated southwest border encounter levels experienced since 2019, I don't remember who was president then, but it was a long time ago. The budget proposes a new $4.7 billion contingency fund to aid the Department of Homeland Security and its components when responding to migration surges along the southwest border. $4.7 billion, you fucking child. That is literally just a contingency fund for this. I'm beginning to understand why nobody but us has watched this stupid fucking thing. And I'm probably going to stay on until the Tucker thing happens, isn't it? I'm not going to get a break.
We're protecting Ukrainians every single day.
No, we're not. We don't have Customs and Border Patrol. We don't have ICE there. We're not deporting immigrants. We're simply supplying them with arms so they can fucking do it.
There are more than 40,000 homeless veterans in America.
Interesting. Look at that chart. Look at the chart of homeless veterans. It just goes up. And there's no years here. Let's see. Let's see. Vast majority of homeless veterans, 96%, are single males from poor, disadvantaged communities. Homeless veterans have served in World War II, Green War. Okay, let's see. This is Green Doors. How many veterans are homeless? While only 8% of Americans can claim veteran status, 17,000 of our homeless population is made up of veterans. This was in 2010. The Department of Veterans Affairs said in 2010 that the number was 76,000. This is before the Biden administration started building, doing their, or the Obama Biden administration was doing stuff. Just for the record, can I show you guys this? This is the 2010 number. The 2010 number was 76,000 homeless veterans sleeping on America's streets. That number has apparently, according to this asshole and his bizarre graph, has gone down. Hold on. Has gone down to 40,000 while going up in the graph. That's fun. How do they even do it? It's a fucking miracle. The line goes up even though the number has come down. I don't know when the fuck this happened. I don't know when it was like there used to be 5,000 before these stupid liberals took over. Meanwhile, why don't you just tell us how Donald Trump did the Veterans Choice Act of 2014?
11% of all homeless people are
11%. Weird, because it used to be 17%. Hold on, I'll show you this. Where are we? Yeah, here it is. 17% of our homeless population in 2010. 17% of the homeless population was veterans. Now it's 11. I guess you have to use a pie chart, because if you show us another graph that's going up when it's going down, people are going to catch on. What a fucking douchebag.
vets, yet we're funding terrorists abroad better than our own veterans here at home.
No, I mean, we're not corralling them. I don't know what you're kind of suggesting. There is a certain point where veterans are given a lot of support, and it should be even more should be made available to them. However, we are not going to, if there's a homeless guy and he happens to be a veteran and he doesn't want to go to one of the facilities because they make you stop drinking and all that, and he's not ready for it or whatever, we're not going to fucking throw him in a paddy wagon and institutionalize them just so they can get off the street and you can either stop using them as a political hockey puck or ignoring their existence when they don't serve your purposes.
Who are maimed because of terrorism.
The what? Yet we're funding
Abroad,
terrorists abroad.
Better than our own veterans here at home.
Better than our own veterans here at home.
Who are maimed because of terrorism.
Oh, I see. Because the vets that are on the street are on the street because they lost a leg because of ISIS.
We sent our military to Iraq and Afghanistan to fight terrorists. And now the veterans of those wars are homeless on the streets.
Right. And so you agree with the Biden budget that would add more money to help fight veterans' homelessness? Maybe we can find a bridge here.
Neglected by our own federal government.
Again, no. If you're offered services, we cannot force you to take services.
Funding Ukraine. There's something deeply disturbing, completely backwards
about your understanding of how anything fucking works. There's something deeply disturbing and completely backwards about how apparently you think we should send a white van and a couple of guys with nets around to gather up every veteran on the street and disappear them if they don't want to go to a shelter or they don't want to get their life together. That the voluntary aspect of it is the part that bothers you.
That it's dark, it's wrong, and nobody is talking about it.
Everybody's talking about it. As a matter of fact, it happens all the time in the government. There are constant, go watch fucking C-SPAN. Not only are they talking about it, they're marking up the budget about it.
So I guess we will. Ukraine is, sadly, precisely the kind of country that we swore to fight against.
What? How is it precisely an Islamic terrorist state that is a state sponsor of terror? Like, is this asshole going to make the case that Ukraine funds Boko Haram or some shit?
In the global war on terror.
in the thing that we did with the thing.
Lawless dictatorship with lethal capacity.
A lawless dictatorship. You do realize this fucker was elected, right? They had a real election. They suspended their election just like England did during the fucking war because they're under assault. It's a little hard to set up voting machines that you can trust in an area of the country that is under constant shelling.
To commit.
You know what? You know who could really make a commitment to democracy and fairness and free and fair elections? Russia, if they just get the fuck out.
Acts of terror across borders.
All right, again, commit acts of terror across borders. The idea that drones coming from somewhere, either fed up Russians or Ukrainian groups inside of Russia or Ukraine themselves, hitting the Kremlin, the fucking dome at the Kremlin, is acts of terror, and this is, or blowing up the fucking pipeline, which again they didn't do.
Nobody wants to say it.
Well, I'm sure a bunch of people want to say it. Roseanne wants to say it. It just sounds like shit because it's nonsense.
We've gone from fighting a war on terror.
Yeah, we get this. I don't know what this as a premise is just imbecilic.
To funding a war of terror.
Yeah, does anybody, do you feel like the premise that was set up in the beginning was established over the course of this video? Me neither. Now, beyond the fact that it was this video was gross and absurd and full of a lot of ridiculous America fuck yeah sounding, music and sound effects just to make it palatable, because on its own, like if you just played the video of this dickhead saying this stuff, it'd be like you'd after about a minute you'd go like, those motherfuckers get paid by Russia to say this. I don't know any other reason. Even people who are against the war would say this shit. This is RFK level gibberish.
And that's wrong.
Thanks, Benny. Yeah, just walk away, bro. Just, that's what you do. Just walk right into Trump's lap. Turning Points, USA. Charlie Kirk. Big head, small face. Let's do this. And the fact that this motherfucker opens with a shot of 9/11. You stay classy, Turning Points USA. So Turning Points USA clearly and obviously a pro-Russia channel at this point. Like just flat out the silliest version of this, that the Ukrainians are committing acts of terrorism because they're not sitting still while being murdered by the Russians. They should just sit there and take it, because that's the kind of, the kind of country that America would back is the kind of country that just lets itself be attacked. Take one for the team, Ukraine. Just roll over and let Russia have you. And then we'll talk about it when they do it to Poland.